Okay. Um, so as you all know, aquaculture's growth is at a risk with supply chain disruptions due to the volatility of forage fish supply, like we saw in 2023 with the Peruvian anchoveta fish closure. A recent study led by my fellow F3 judge, Dr. Ling Cao, found that we can expect an ingredient shortfall of 20% with up to 70% of that output for high value species. A recent Rabobank report says that fish meal and fish oil shortages could occur as soon as 2 years from now, which will have an impact on global seafood, as there is also projected to have a 50 million ton shortfall of the global fish supply by 2030. I really appreciate this recent quote from the CEO of Skretting, who sums up really well. Resilience is no longer a contingency plan, but a core capability in an increasingly volatile market. Very, very well said. Again, I think everyone here knows that forage fish are essential uh, to ocean health. They underpin wild fisheries and sustain marine mammals and seabirds. And as our planet warms, climate change is placing even greater pressure on forage fish populations, putting entire ecosystems at risk. So at F3, we joined together in 2015 to launch the F3 initiative. And our goal was to incentivize feed innovations that support aquaculture growth while protecting the marine environment. F3 helps kickstart innovation, reduce exposure to supply chain volatility, and ensure aquaculture can continue to grow responsibly. At F3, we host the F3 Challenge Prize contests. We also sponsor research and provide an open access library of fish free feed formulations through our Feed Innovation Network. This is to help companies across the aquaculture value chain. F3, by the way, is also endorsed as a UN Ocean Decade action. To date, we've awarded prizes through 4 previous F3 contests. Our first award went to Evergreen from Guangdong, China, for its F3 tilapia and dace feed. In 2019, we recognized Veramaris for its algae oil, an innovation that proved critical to the industry during the 2023 Peruvian fishing closures. Our Carnivore Challenge honored Star Milling Company of California for their trout feed, Epingran from Ecuador, and Veramaris for their shrimp feed, and Jingsu Fuhai Biotech for their largemouth bass feed produced in China. Most recently, our Krill Replacement Challenge awarded BRF Ingredients and Simrise for their promising alternative ingredients in our Krill Challenge. Our new contest, the F3 Fish Farm Challenge, has been designed with extensive consultation with ingredient and feed companies to help engage fish farmers and increase consumer awareness of responsible farmed fish. It's now open to farmers that produce and sell carnivorous finfish fed without any marine animal ingredients in 2 contest tracks. This is to support ready farms today with their F3 feed and those who need more time for R&D and those who produce relatively slower growing fish species. So, what's in it for you? The challenge is an opportunity to kickstart your feed innovation to future proof your farm now. You would be rewarded if you win with prize money, plus increased visibility to attract new customers. And by registering and competing in the F3 contest, you join the F3 network for further collaboration and networking. Okay, to be eligible, your fish must be raised on fully marine animal free diets starting at the fingerling stage or even earlier if you wish. This means no fish meal, fish oil, krill, squid, or other marine animal ingredients. Approval is required if you're going to grow a non-salmonid species, so we can verify what you're growing. And the fish must be commercially available for sale in approved uh, challenge markets through outlets like distributors, retailers, restaurants, local fish markets, um, and even live sales. For verification and testing, for us to be able to do our due diligence on this contest, the fish must be publicly available for sale in approved challenge markets. These are including the distributors, retailers, restaurants, or local fish markets. If your country isn't currently listed or highlighted here on the map, you can contact us to see if it may still qualify for inclusion. To enter, you must be an aquaculture producer, but cross supply chain collaboration is strongly encouraged with your team and team members. The teams can include ingredient suppliers, feed companies, retailers, and other partners. The feed ingredient companies may participate on multiple teams, and while past main F3 prize winners can lead a team, they are welcome to join as members. But the actual applicant will need to be a fish farm producer. Uh, how they decide if they're how they want to split the money with team members is totally up to them. We won't have any say in that. Okay, so after registration and approval of the species you're farming, participants must ship 2 kilograms of feed with complete ingredient list to me for testing uh, that it's marine animal ingredient free. The feed submission deadline for the 2 year track is November 30th, 2026. And again, I just need the ingredient list. I don't need the formulation. We're just going to be checking to be sure that uh, this meets the requirements for the contest in our testing. The entrants are asked to retain 2 kilos of each feed size, pellet size, for the fingerling phases and grow out for verification testing. F3 judges or representatives may also conduct on site farm visits, make independent product purchases, and carry out additional testing to confirm feed history and absence of fish meal, fish oil, or krill. Again, this is just as part of the due diligence for the contest, making sure that everybody's following the rules uh, through the contest period. F3 representatives may anonymously purchase fish for verification testing. The labels on the product should clearly show the brand, species, and product form, and weight and label should allow us to identify the product at the point of sale for verification. And we're fairly liberal about how the contestants do that, whether it's labeling on the package, on master packs, on point of sale with labeling in a store. Uh, uh, with that, we're work with you on however you decide to do that. Each contest track has 4 sales reporting deadlines, and sales must occur during the contest sales period. You also need to notify us where the product will be available in the approved challenge markets that were shown earlier, at least 1 month in advance, along with all relevant details. Okay. Each contest track has 4 sales reporting deadlines, and the sales for both tracks must occur during this 11-month time frame to be included in the sales report. You also need to notify us where it will be available in the approved challenge markets at least 1 month in advance, along with all relevant details. So again, so we can anonymously purchase some product for testing. And obviously it needs to be labeled so that we can find it in the marketplace. Okay. If you need help with your feed formulation, you're welcome to visit our Feed Innovation Network website, which offers free resources like open source feed formulations, testing protocols, and promising new ingredients. We've got hyperlinks to a whole lot of companies of all sizes across the value chain. And you can also request to be added as an ingredient or feed provider or as an F3 farm. This website is set up to provide links and for publicity. So I want to thank all of you for joining us today. If you'd like to follow up, get additional information, there's contact email addresses here. Um, so feel free to copy those down. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. I know we've got quite a few participants here. Okay. And next, I'd like to introduce our F3 team judges and experts. First, we have Dr. Ling Cao is one of our judges. Ling grew up on a family fish farm in China, and she's dedicated her career to advancing sustainable and resilient fisheries and aquaculture. She's a distinguished professor and department head of a big research lab at Xiamen University in China. And she was the lead author of a landmark 20-year global aquaculture study published in Nature and a recent Nature food analysis article that we highlighted earlier today in the presentation. Throughout her career, she has built strong partnerships across global aquaculture, aquafeed, and the seafood sectors. My other judge is Dr. Michael Telesti. Michael is an associate professor of sustainability and food solutions at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, where he applies science and innovation to transform global aquatic food systems and train the next generation of leaders. He's also a senior fellow in aquaculture innovation at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Global Oceans Conservation Program. His work focuses on producing more food, reducing waste, and improving performance across the seafood value chain. In his spare time, he develops solutions to combat illegal wildlife trade. We also have on the call with us our F3 Chief Scientific Officer, Dr. Rick Barrows. Rick is a renowned fish nutritionist and founder of Aquatic Feed Technologies, a consulting company focused on the development of sustainable aquaculture feeds. Prior to this, he served for 13 years as the lead scientist and nutritionist for the Trout Grains Project of the Agricultural Research Service at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Okay. Now we're going to open up the Zoom floor for questions from the audience, and we'll go ahead and start. So let me stop sharing here. And I'll call up the questions here. Okay. So the first question is one we have for Dr. Barrows, and that is, can fish, shrimp hydrosylates, or farmed byproducts be used?
It's a good question, and we support the use of those sort of products. But for this challenge, we cannot analytically separate a farmed byproduct versus a wild harvested product. So, no, in this challenge, those cannot be included.
Okay, thank you. Um, Next question here for Dr. Ling Cao. Who can participate in the F3 challenge, and how can companies, sorry, cut it off, or individuals such as farmers, feed millers, ingredient or feed additive suppliers, and independent professionals join or form teams to compete? So, Dr.
Very
Ling?
good question. Thank you for the great question. The aquaculture farms must be the lead registrant, but we strongly encourage teams to include partners from across the seafood value chain, such as the ingredient companies or feed additive supplies or feed companies or retailers, and even independent professionals. If a team wins, the lead farm decides how the prize can be shared among the team members. And usually the award is presented to the farm lead at an industry focused conference. And also, I want to mention feed and ingredient companies are very welcome to participate on multiple teams. One thing to note, previous winners of F3 challenge, so they cannot lead a team. So they can, but we absolutely welcome them to join as team members. We especially encourage ingredient companies with scalable products to join a team. Thank you.
Okay, great. Um, okay, is there any initial funding for contestants? I'll answer that one. No, there aren't any upfront funds available for the contestant. F3 doesn't have funds for that. The entrants are responsible for covering all of their own costs and those of any of their team members during the contest. Uh, but the good news is we also don't charge any fees for this contest. Um, the the prize is awarded to the farm that produces and sells the greatest amount of feed, measured as the live weight or live weight equivalent for what they sell. So uh, there's no fee to join. You're welcome to um, join without any cost to you. Um, okay, here's another question, probably for Dr. Barrows. Can tilapia be considered for the contest? And if not, why not?
Well, tilapia won the very first challenge, and it's well known that they do well on a plant-based diet, and the focus of this challenge is different.
Okay, good, thank you. Um, so here's another one. How can we certify our F3 feed for the contest can we use certifications from Aquaculture Stewardship Council or the best aquaculture practices? Um, uh, Michael, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah. So this F3 competition is different than a certification system. And what we're doing is we are focused on alternate feeds. And again, because we are looking for alternatives, particularly to marine-derived fish meals, we are not. So any testing of that will be done by Dr. Fitzsimmons. So that's why we ask you to send feed to his laboratory so we can test it. It's not a certificate program. This is a challenge. And we should probably at some point discuss logo. But again, you aren't paying us to certify your product. What you're doing is you're entering a challenge. You submit feed so we can test to make sure that it doesn't have marine ingredients in it. And that's the whole basis of this challenge.
All right. Thank you, Michael. That's a great answer. So here's another question. Can rural trout farms in Mexico apply? But we're still developing a formula with zero fish ingredients, fish meal, fish oil, and we need investment to achieve it. Can we apply to make this happen? So, Rick, why don't you and I tag team on this?
Sure.
I'll start. Can rural trout farms in Mexico apply? Certainly. We would encourage you. But for developing the zero fish feed, I'll turn that over to Dr. Barrows.
Yes, and to reiterate, yes, you can apply, and if applying and becoming a participant helps you develop funding, investment, that's so much the better. We might even know people interested in that. As far as formulation, if you want to talk offline, I'd be happy to help you tweak formulas. We've spent a lot of time with trout. They're pretty straightforward. If we can help, please let us know through the website.
And I'll follow up with that the contest has 2 tracks. So it doesn't sound like these farmers in Mexico might be ready to obviously send in a sample of their feed here quickly. And they may need some extra investment help. But with the 2 tracks, they wouldn't start immediately, but the 4-year track, they could start a year from now, and then fit right into that track and still have plenty of time to compete in the second portion of the contest, the longer term track. Okay, so moving on. Do we expect farmers to switch to an F3 feed for their entire farm to compete in the challenge? Dr. Ling. Dr. Ling Cao, you want to answer that?
Sure. So the answer to this question is no. We actually don't have any requirement. We actually don't require the farmers to switch entirely, the entire farm to marine ingredient free feed. We don't expect the farmers to, like I said, switch the entire farm, but we anticipate that most participants will experiment with the feed on a portion of their production while competing in the challenge.
Okay, thank you, Ling. Let me see. Our next question. Most farms don't sell direct to consumers. How will they market their products as F3? Michael, do you mind answering that one?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time thinking about this, and we've recently streamlined the labeling requirements for this challenge. The label just needs to meet all regulatory requirements in the challenge market. So where you're selling the fish, make sure your label is legal there. The key thing is that packaging needs to make it easy for the F3 team. or if we send somebody out into the field to try to find these products, that they can identify and purchase the correct fish at retail for verification. And this is helping us meet the overall goal of the contest, which is to increase consumer awareness.
Okay, thank you. I hope that makes it clear for folks. All right, here's another one. To what extent have policymakers formally acknowledged that viable alternatives to wild fish in feed already exist? And have you seen examples of that recognition being translated into time-bound targets or regulation to phase out wild fish use? I think that may take a couple of us. Rick, you want to start with this? And
Yeah.
it's a big question. We'll take turns on it.
Very big question. I don't think there's any regulations pushing that direction. I think the marketplace is going to determine what ingredients are used now and in the future. And since marine harvested ingredients are a limited supply and demand is increasing, we should see a price change there. And as these alternative ingredients scale up, get to a larger scale, those prices should come down. So there's going to be a time when non-marine harvested ingredient feeds are less expensive, in our opinion.
Okay. Here's a related one. Can we discuss the recent situation of novel feed in regulations on novel ingredients, especially things like insect and microbial proteins? So first of all, as at F3, we're not trying to pick any winners or losers of innovative ingredients. We're pretty certain that we're going to need multiple ingredients to replace fish meal and fish oil. And obviously, we don't set or manage regulations for individual countries as to what they approve for ingredients in animal feeds. So it's to some extent it's responsibility of each contestant to be familiar, comply with whatever their national regulations are and what ingredients can go into animal feeds. What I can also point out, though, is that these regulations have been very quickly changing around the world. EU, US, a lot of places have approved microbial proteins, mycoproteins, insect proteins, algae proteins, algae oils. So there's a lot more that are available for animal feeds. And let me just turn the rest over to Rick if you want to add anything else to that.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that. And we are looking for more and more alternative ingredients or more ingredients just straight out. But this is not an aquaculture only problem. Across animal production worldwide, if it's going to continue to increase production, we're going to need more ingredients. So it's really a global problem that we're going to have to face. And some of these new ingredients show scalability and better water use and land use than some of the other more traditional ingredients.
Good, thank you. Mike, I think, Michael, this is a good one for you, I think. As a contest, are we more interested in food security or return on investment?
Both. Yeah, we seriously are interested in both. We understand that as new ingredients come into play, they may not immediately be cost effective. And so what we're trying to do is help increase demand for these items, which will help with those returns. But in thinking about kind of future proofing and helping the industry survive over the long term, this is really about food security. They just increased the USDA requirement, our recommended daily intake, the weekly intake to 3 seafood meals a week, up from 2. So that just happened. Globally, we're seeing increasing levels of seafood consumption. And so we're going to need more seafood in the future. And so making sure we have enough for fed aquaculture, enough food will be very important. So we need to work on the return first, and that will help lead to food security.
Okay, thank you. Ling, this one just came in for you, I think could handle this. Is this challenge also open to ingredient suppliers? If yes, should we first get in touch with a farm and a feed manufacturer, or can the F3 team put us together with these actors?
Yeah, we our challenge, this fish farm challenge, open to ingredient suppliers. We actually very welcome ingredient companies to join, to collaborate. If I mean, if you can, either way, if you can first get in touch with a farm, or if you need any help from the F3 team, we are very happy to help.
Okay, good. Thank you. So here's another one just popped up. How can we certify our F3 feed for the contest? Can we use ASC or BAP? Um, so we're not using ASC or BAP for certification. We are doing our own verification of the feed samples that they are uh, marine ingredient free, marine animal ingredient free. So we're just verifying it. We're not really providing any certification. Again, we're not charging for any certification like Aquaculture Stewardship Council or the Best Aquaculture Practices people. It's this is a time limited contest that we're doing here. So hopefully that is clear. Um, here's one I think again for Dr. Barrows. Can we expect fish-free feeds to become affordable without sacrificing nutrition?
Yes, we can't sacrifice nutrition at all, and fish performance or the feed's just not going to work. But we need to identify all the nutrients that fish require, that fish meal and fish oil carry with it, and then we get good performance out of the feed. And so, yes, we can do that, and it'll be cost effective in the future.
Okay, good. Thank you. Here's a very practical question. What happens if trace amounts of marine animal products are detected from cross-contamination? And I'll handle that one because this has happened. And unfortunately, in that case, we had to tell the contestant that the feed did not qualify. So it's really important that the feed manufacturer really does a good cleaning between runs. Um, so they've got to be sure they clean out their mixers, their extruder, their pelletizer, um, and the feed loading. Make sure that it's clean there. So the farms are going to have to just check with their feed manufacturer and just be really clear that they do a good job cleaning between runs. Because unfortunately, we've had to disqualify people in the past for that exact thing.
Kevin, can I add
Yeah,
on to that a
yeah,
little bit?
please.
Yeah, it's each farm doesn't have to have their own specific formulation. If you do, that's great. But if there's a commercial feed manufacturer who already has this type of feed, then you can just buy that product as well and follow the rest of the rules. So
That's a great point, and many feed producers now are putting some of these products on the market.
yeah,
They may cost a little bit more because they're making relatively small volumes compared to their normal feed, but they know there's increasing demand for these products. So you can find them out there. Okay. Um, uh, this one, I guess I'll handle. Can you explain the verification process of the feed, fish at the farm, and point of sale? So I'll start and then maybe turn this over. Um, so again, we start with getting a sample of the feed that you're going to be using on the farm. We're asking for a 2 kilo sample to be sent to my lab. Then that's going to be sent out to a third party, to a professional feed lab that can do some really detailed tests to do DNA testing and other uh, uh, testing to be sure that there's no product in there. Okay, then the second part of that is that uh, the judges or one of our representatives would be actually picking up some of the product at a retail market. And this is why we need to have that uh, product labeled, and you tell us where to find it so that we can anonymously send somebody to go buy some of that product. And then that's going to be sent again to a third party lab that specializes in testing using isotopes, DNA, again, probably some heavy metal analyses, other things that we have found that we can test the product to be sure that it has met the requirements. And then let me just turn that over to Dr. Telesti and Dr. Barrows for any additional comments there. Michael, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think you covered that well. Again, we're not in, just to go back to the BAP ASC certification, they are looking at feed from a much different perspective than we are. We're looking at ingredient components and looking at what the provenance of those ingredients are. And so that's why we control the testing of this through the labs that Dr. Simmons works with.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that that the research branch of the F3 team has been spending a lot of time and is spending time in developing methodology to evaluate not only a feed if it contains these certain ingredients, but also the previous diet history of the flesh. So a lot of different analyses are played together, including fatty acid and lipid profiles, in addition to everything Kevin said.
Okay, good. Thank you. So here's one. Dr. Ling, if you can handle this, do you have any contest, F3, have any contest on sanitary management of local and quarantine diseases?
Not at this moment. Our F3 challenge mainly focused on fish-free feed innovation, rather than contest specifically on sanitary management or quarantine disease control. But I'd like to see disease biosecurity is also a major issue for and also a major priority for aquaculture, the industry. So we are very welcome we are welcome ideas for future track, especially related to the feed innovation.
Okay, great. Thank you. Good answer for that. Okay, another one just popped up. We have an issue of the accessibility to government licenses in each country for the installation of ecological, multi-trophic marine aquaculture plants. So let me start on this, and then maybe Michael, you could chime in. Um, uh, as this particular contest is looking again at the ingredients and using seaweeds, whether they were produced in multi-trophic or harvested, we see seaweeds and algae as important potential ingredients. Um, but when it comes to the licensing and installation of multi-trophic MTA type plant programs, I don't think that's really within the scope of this particular contest. But Michael, you want to chime in, please?
Yeah, we work across a number of nations. And again, it is up to the individual operator within each nation to ensure they are properly licensed. It's really important that everybody is above board and legal as they're producing products. And we also are not a lobbying group, so we will talk about the importance of aquaculture where we can. But again, there are so many issues, and we're trying to have a super sharp focus on these alternative feed ingredients.
Good, thank you. So another one that just came in. What role, if any, can unfed aquaculture and promotion of that play in the contest? Let me start on that and then I'll pass that on. If it's completely unfed aquaculture, we don't see how that's going to be able to be a contestant in that we're looking at the ingredients. However, if somebody has half of their production or three-quarters of their production unfed and then have finishing diets that would be fed with qualified feeds, I don't see that would be a problem. That could fit into the contest. Michael, you want to add on to that, and then maybe Rick?
Yeah, extensive aquaculture production is really important from looking at the portfolio of aquaculture products and the overall sustainability of the industry. Again, we have a very sharp focus on fed aquaculture and how do we move this forward, given that there may be and likely will be fish meal limitations in the future. So again, we have a very problem focus. We acknowledge unfed aquaculture is really important, really great. But again, it lies a little bit outside of what we're looking for in terms of a solution set.
Great. Thank you. Here's another one. Can F3 help match me with feed or ingredient partners if I do not already have them? Rick, Dr. Barrows, you mind?
Possibly. Please reach out to us separately online, and we'll see if we have any contacts in your area and with your species.
Great. Another one just popped up. Is it possible for an ingredient to be classified as marine derived while remaining non-extractive? For example, do land-based polychaetes produced in closed-loop aquaculture systems qualify? I guess this means like earthworms or something like that. Rick,
marine polychaetes.
Or Mike?
This would be marine polychaetes, and again, this is a new and upcoming feed opportunity. There's a lot of polychaetes which are wild harvested, which have habitat change and disease challenges with them. And so there is some interest in closed loop systems of this. Again, unfortunately, because we can't differentiate between land-based growing marine ingredients and wild harvested, we've had to set our definition of no marine ingredients at all. And again, this is likely to be a solution coming forward in the future. We just don't actually have the ability to ensure that that wild ingredients and an extractive resource is being used. And that's why, unfortunately, we have to not allow this into the competition.
Yeah. Thank you for that clarification. That helps a lot. But okay, this one just popped up, almost the same question. Could we clarify the scope of marine-free requirement? Does the criteria prohibit the use of any marine-derived biological matter, or is the goal specifically to avoid marine extractive ingredients? Very similar question. Michael, anything you'd add to that? I think you explained it pretty well.
Yeah, again, unfortunately, until we can, and we've actually we've looked for isotopes that we could analyze to figure out if something is produced on land versus extracted from the ocean, and we're not at that place yet. And so, in order to have as free of as fair of a competition as we can, we just unfortunately we have to draw a line at marine ingredients. If anybody knows how we could test for this, please talk to us, and we're willing to have that discussion.
Yeah.
I might also add that we really like those ingredients, and they're going to be great tools in the toolbox for nutritionists. We just can't include it in the challenge because of analytical restraints.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, another question here. Are you also planning to hold another F3 meeting in the months to come to gather stakeholders of the industry around this new F3 challenge topics of and alternative ingredients for aquaculture? Dr. Ling, you want to answer that?
Okay. Yes. So right now we are open to the registration for the participants to enter the challenge. Once the contest is underway, we will have another F3 meeting. But it's an invite-only event. Usually we open to previous contestants and current registrants. But yeah, if you are interested, you can still contact us for more information in the future. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And then another question, it would be great if you could provide academic resources for the management of food, health, environment for different aquaculture species in the tropics. I'm writing from Honduras, where the production of tilapia and shrimp is predominant. Yeah, so our Feed Innovation Network website has got a lot of resources there. We have done marine ingredient free formulations for tilapia and shrimp. So please look at the network, at the website there, which would provide a lot of information and links to feed producers, that kind of thing. So please feel free to use that resource. Again, it's free for anybody. It's open source. So that's great. Next question. How long do you think it will take for F3 products to become mainstream? Dr. Barrows, you want to take a crack at that?
Well, whether it's 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, we think it will be, and the sooner the better. It's hard to predict. These challenges, a lot of the reasons behind that is to help bring that more quickly, that result.
And I'd like to add to that, though, that some of these F3 products already are. I mean,
yes.
Veramaris, Corbion, some of our contestants from earlier contests are very much large-scale producing to global industry already. So some of the things that we helped, some of our early contest winners, people that we had at our F3 meetings, were able to find partners, investors, value chain partners. And so we like to pat ourselves on the back that we help facilitate some of that. So,
Kevin,
yeah.
just so everybody on this discussion knows that we actually held a similar webinar last 12 hours ago, primarily for Asian participants. And through Dr. Kao's amazing connections and resources, we had 17,500 people on that webinar last night. And to me, they're not all contestants. They're going to be consumers. And I think this is driving the interest that people are showing up to hear about this because they want to know that something different is happening.
Great. Thank you. Here's a bit of a related question. What are the networking and publicity opportunities by joining the contest? Dr. Ling, you want to speak to that after the great success last night with the other webinar?
Yeah, so if you join our F3 contest, I think you'll get lots of publicity in seafood trade. And also we do lots of publicity during the winner announcement, usually at major conference like the World Aquaculture Society Conference or the Responsible Seafood Summit. Plus, our F3 meeting collections also across the value chain will be available to you during the F3 meeting events.
Great, great. So here's a question. I'll send this to Dr. Barrows. As a participating farm in the F3 Challenge, would we have an opportunity to receive some consultation or guidance from Dr. Rick Barrows on diet formulation and feed strategy?
Yes, I would be happy to work with you, and please reach out to our F3 website. It's very enjoyable, and I'm sure we can make progress.
Okay, great. By the way, here's a comment. I'd like to share that our BRF ingredients team, our last winner, contest winner, is ready and willing to co-participate with farmers interested in joining the challenge. BRF are fully prepared to support them by supplying non-marine ingredients across several regions worldwide. Their contact information is available from the F3 team should anybody wish to connect directly. So we're thrilled that our F3 Krill Replacement Challenge winner is here with us, and we've got their contact information, and they obviously are interested in joining a team with any of the farm people who would like to enter the challenge. So I know we're running short of time. Let me just real quickly go through Dr. Barrows, Dr. Telesti, Dr. Ling Kao, any other comments you'd like to add?
Yeah, I would just like to add some of the benefits of becoming a participant is you immediately join the F3 network. There's publicity, as Dr. Kao mentioned, and there's really no downside. We are only going to publicize production figures, excuse me, from the winners. You don't have to worry about not having high production. If you don't have numbers that you're happy with, we definitely won't release that.
And let me just add quickly, we take the information that you share with us very seriously as industrial secrets information. We don't share this information with anyone. We only use this for the contest purposes, and all of that information is deleted after the contest is over. So don't be concerned about industry secrets, formulations, anything like that. We really don't want the formulations, just ingredient lists. So, Michael, please.
Please join, and we need to push this forward.
Thank you. Dr. Ling,
Yeah,
anything you'd like
I
to add?
want to echo Michael. Yeah, please join our F3 challenge to grow fish without fishing the feed for feed to protect our oceans.
Good. All right. Thank you. Before we wrap up, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. We hope the webinar was informative and sparked your interest in joining the challenge. All registrants will receive a playback recording of this webinar in a few days. If there's anything you want to go back and check, email addresses, whatever, reach out to us if you've got any other questions. All the questions and answers will also be posted on the frequently asked questions section at our website, f3challenge.org. And so let me turn it back over to Ford.
Well, thank you again for joining. For more information, please visit the challenge website at www.f3challenge.org or reach out to us directly at f3farmchallenge@gmail.com. A recording of the webinar will be available soon. And for more information about the F3 Feed Innovation Network that we spoke about, please visit that website at www.f3fin.org. Well, thank you again, and we'll end the webinar now.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Good seeing you.
Thank you.